here. Carlton Morris, 30 yards out, dummies the shot, works it onto his right foot, possibly should have hit it, has given it to Nolan. Nolan on the right has Masuaku behind him. Here's Omar Beckles, tall figure at right back, works it well with Nolan, back in field to Godfrey. Through the middle of the pitch, Dodds and Morris exchange a couple of 1-2s. Good football from the League One team. West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0. Here's Nolan on the right. Beckles, first time ball into the near post, not enough on that, and Ogbonna clears up towards the halfway line. Arnautovic jumps to win a header.
We are live.
And the centre back Shrewsbury takes his time. Clever little flick over the top here from a go-go, right-footed shot, didn't get enough on it, and screws it wide and behind for a West Ham goal kick. Matt Upson.
So shame he rushed the shot there.
Hello, by the way, yeah.
What are your thoughts on the we're joined by about 1 million West Ham fans who are not able to watch the game.
I have to say, Shrewsbury look like they're getting stronger.
As far as I know, we're kind of going through the motions. Basically, we've tried to get Martinez involved in the game as much as possible, but our getting him involved in the game is making him do a lot of the work, trying to find spaces. It's very much kind of just trying to get over the hill, really, just trying to look for a lucky goal, trying to get in areas where Shrewsbury can't get to. The Shrewsbury just seem to be able to deal with everything. They've had better chances than us. The best chance fell to them in the first place, 1-on-1 with Joe Hart, who apparently made a very good save. So,
young centre-back gets there first for West Ham. Slight miscommunication with Joe Hart. Sends Burke scampering away to his left. Gets to the ball first, up the left-hand side. Flicked on by Cullen. A go-go in midfield for Shrewsbury. Side foots the ball back to Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper, all in green with the black leggings underneath the goalkeeping shorts. The ball's gone out for a West Ham throw right-hand side.
The goalkeeper's very entertaining for me this evening. He's got a bit of personality, a bit of character. He's done a couple of little tricks.
This is pressure, mate.
He's had a good evening so far.
It was an amazing one in the second half where he let a ball run across his body towards his own byline. It was a sort of Pele trick. He let it go, completely fooled Martinez, turned under 90 degrees and picked it up the other side, just kept it in on the byline and got his pass away. Here's Arnautovic. Right-hand side into the Shrewsbury penalty area, can't get the cross in to a dangerous area, cleared only as far as Mark Noble. Noble, little 1-2 with Lanzini, left-footed curling passes, headed away by John Nolan for Shrewsbury. Midway through the first period of extra time here in this FA Cup third-round replay, and Joe Hart is there to sweep for West Ham, 10 yards outside his penalty area. The game itself has been so short of clear-cut chances.
There's been minimal amount of goal-mouth action. Yeah, from anything, from crosses coming in, from shots, from headers on goal, from set pieces. There's not been many efforts on goal at all.
No disrespect to Shrewsbury at all, but we should have finished this within 90 minutes. I'm sorry, we should have.
Plays it to Lanzini, lays it off to Noble. Gives it to Lanzini, who's able to turn. Zabaletta's made good ground on the right-hand side. Arnautovic wants this, aimed towards it. Martinez tries the right-footed volley. Off the shin, high in the air. Zabaleta chases into the penalty area. The ball comes back to Noble. Noble's crossing, flicked away to the edge of the box. Masuaku collects it for West Ham. Left-footed cross, takes another flick, headed straight at the keeper there by Martinez. Easy save for Dean Henderson. It remains West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0.
Unfortunately, the deflection off Nolan there from the cross just took the pace off it, which made it very difficult for Martinez to get a decent purchase on the ball to score.
This is 5 Live Sports Extra. Tomorrow night, Chelsea Norwich in full-on 5 Live.
Yeah, IU is currently playing too far away to really assist Martinez at all tonight, which is a bit disappointing, but not surprising.
More Australian Open tennis on Sports Extra tonight. Kyle Edmund in action again against Dennis Istomin. On court, we think, from around about 1 o'clock in the morning. And if you can't stay up for that, tennis breakfast from 7 a.m. As it will be on 5 Live Sports Extra throughout the Australian Open. Here's Musiala, centre-back for Shrewsbury. Left-footed clearance, high in the air, brought down by a go-go. Carlton Morris lays it off on the left-hand side. Zabaleta intercepts. Noble gets there for West Ham and plays the ball back to Rhys Burke. Burke thought about the ball across the face of his defence, decided against it. Threads a nice one up the inside right channel to Lanzini, who glides across the turf, sways side to side, keeping the ball, gets it back from Martinez. Zabaleta stays wide, and here's Arnautovic on the right-hand side. Zabaleta back to Lanzini, 30 yards out to Noble. Shrewsbury now getting ready to make the fourth change permitted in extra time here.
Scott is very embarrassing.
Bolton, who started at right back in the first game against West Ham, and he will come on for Max Lowe. So Max Lowe, who's finished the game as left back, started left midfield, will be replaced by James Bolton. I think that means Omar.
We should have done this throughout the whole game.
Will now switch from right back to left back.
Yeah, he's shifting back over to left back, so I assume he'll drop back in at right back.
Matt Upson with us at the London Stadium. 5 minutes remaining in the first period of extra time. West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0. And that is exactly what's going to happen. So Beckles goes back over to the left. James Bolton, who's in his first season with Shrewsbury, having been playing in non-league last season with Gateshead, gets an early feel of the ball because he's going to take this throw, which seems to slightly slip out of his grasp. Loops high, headed forward and flicked on by Carlton Morris. Burke heads it away for West Ham. Noble with a first-time ball. Appeals for handball against the Go-Go. Not going to get that decision. And so Shrewsbury will work the ball away to the left-hand side. Beckles. Not a good ball forward. Intercepted by Noble. Noble cut it out but couldn't find Lanzini with the knockdown. Here's a Go-Go again in the centre circle. The Shrewsbury captain gives it to John Nolan, who had that good chance in the second half of the first tie, which he blazed over the bar. Now Bolton comes back to the goalkeeper Henderson, who's just jogging backwards as the ball makes it into his 6-yard box. Hooks one away with his right foot and knocks it straight out of play for a throw.
Just another quirky moment. You know, he does really good things, but he's got his own style. You know, he makes his decisions.
I would love to talk to you, but I feel a certain responsibility to the viewers. I can't really see the race again.
Throw into the feet of Lamb.
It's hard to tell when it does. It's hard to tell when we're playing and when there's a bit of a stoppage.
Ball across the deck to Masuaku. Takes a touch, plays it back to Lanzini. Gives it to Arnautovic. Then Obiang. Arnautovic again. Plays one through for Lanzini to chase down the left-hand side. Stands the cross up to the far post. Headed away to the edge of the box. Miscue. Comes all the way back to Obiang. The West Ham fans scream shoot. He decides not to. That's because a couple of weeks ago he smashed one in at Wembley against Tottenham from about 40 yards out right into the top corner. So they know what he can do on the odd occasion. Here's Cullen towards Lanzini, to Arnautovic, back to goal, lays it off to Masuaku on the left-hand side. Masuaku, ball hit Bolton's hand, nothing he could do about that though. The referee had a good view of that and says no penalty. West Ham
had a bit of a shocker tonight as well though, because I think there's been a few penalties.
First period of extra time. Shrewsbury have lost it again though. Masuaku. Lay off from Martinez, looking for the run of Obiang. Arnautovic gets onto the loose ball inside the penalty area, back to the edge of the area. Noble stretches, takes a touch, goes down, and he's not going to get the penalty for that. And now Shrewsbury come at West Ham on the counter, and it's pretty much 2-on-2. Rodman's going to play the ball to the left-hand side. Morris has been caught offside. What a wasted opportunity.
I have to say, I didn't feel that was offside. The linesman's give it was very, very tight.
Look, one of the guys has come through there and said, Scott has said our youth players clearly not good enough.
It's triple if you go offside when you're the far...
Arnautovic playing the penalty area here at the other end. Arnautovic lays it off. Lanzini forced wide. Drags it back onto the right foot. He's still there, Lanzini. Onto the left foot, drives it. Blocked on the line and back to Dean Henderson. Incredible defending from Shrewsbury Town. And he was only able to make the block, James Bolton, because Lanzini was held up, working it from right to left and right again. He got back behind his keeper. 2 goal line clearances for Shrewsbury in this game now.
What an outstanding block. I mean, it was brilliant. You thought Lanzini was going to get the shot of Arnautovic. Very clever cutback. He cuts back onto his left foot. He beats the goalkeeper. And Bolton's there on...
Regarding that comment about the youth, he might have a point. Tonight is a night to prove yourself, and they haven't done it enough.
Matthew Upson with us.
And that's me saying that.
West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0. Heading towards half-time in extra time. Josh Cullen on the ball for West Ham. So Godfrey and Bolton with brilliant goal line clearances for Shrewsbury. Cullen's ball in is looking for the run of Arnautovic through the middle. Can't find him. Cleared by a Go-Go. Tired clearance, leaning back. Ogbonna has to chase it back. What's he going to do? He's not going to play it to Joe Hart. He's fouled. Carlton Morris has hold of his arm right in front of the assistant referee. Morris looks aghast at the decision. West Ham will get the free kick.
About 5 or 6 first teamers.
Just about that. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first period of extra time.
It's not enough to
And West Ham cleared off the line. Is that going to cost them? Masuaku charging down the left-hand side, runs into a couple of points. West Ham don't get the throw, and David Moyes complains at that as well. So, James Bolton, who made the block, gets ready to take the throw. 40 seconds left in this first period of extra time. Bolton is going to take his time and launch it down the right-hand side. Headed forward by Cullen. Lanzini lets it bounce, turns away from Godfrey. Lets it on to Martinez, fouled. About 50 yards out, but it'll still give West Ham a chance.
Van Dangles, yes. How are we in extra time against the League One opposition? Rather embarrassing in the second leg.
Penalty area. You feel that at the moment this is taken, the referee's going to blow.
Doesn't help you when you have no Sacco, Carroll or Hernandez, but not sure they would have done much.
Right, well, Noble's going to go short and quick down the left-hand side.
New bodies in.
Tini's behind him. Masuaku's cross bounces dangerously. Unsiala's there to clear away, and that is that for the first 15 minutes of extra time here at the London.
Yeah, I'll put it down for now until second half starts.
It's true though, Scott. Like Scott's come on saying doesn't help when you've got no Sacco, Carroll or Hernandez, but not sure they would have done much tonight anyway. The board badly needs to get some new bodies in. I mean, it's blatantly obvious they do. And the biggest problem for me, and it's starting to really kind of come to fruition because we're relying so much on Arnautovic and Lanzini, is we just don't have the connectors. We do not have the connectors between the midfield and the forwards at all. And we're just going to lose. We're going to sign forwards. We're going to be so happy when we sign them, but we're not going to be able to deliver the service.
The funny thing is that I kind of predicted all this. I would have been very surprised if we'd have won about 2 or 3-0 tonight, because we're just kind of trying to go through the motions in a way that, you know, we're at home, we can just go through to the next round, which I actually think is going to be a lot harder than these two legs, if you like. But yeah, it's embarrassing to a point, but respect to Shrewsbury. No, I'm saying respect to Shrewsbury because they're clearly come for a game. We can't see the game. I can't see the game, so I can't really. It's fine going by radio, but I've listened to the radio before and it's been a bit wrong. So, in a way, this is all we've got to go on. But it doesn't sound great from the people that are there anyway. So.
Problem is, we're expecting youth players to come in, hold and perform. Doesn't always work. Hence why they need more regular experience. The odd 5 minutes into the game to what wonders in future. Revelator John. I've been calling for that all season. 5 minutes here, there and everywhere. 10 minutes here, there and everywhere. I mean, we had the prime example against at the weekend when we were winning. We won the game 4-1.
Do you know what it feels like? It's a bit like when Allardyce played the youth in the FA Cup, the infamous FA Cup game, and we lost 5-0 Forest. And he went, "Oh, I played the youth now. I've proved that they're not up to it." Which was a complete bollock statement because he played a completely different formation and all that sort of stuff. But look, I'm not asking for the world for these players, but I'm not going to hound them out just now. There are first team players in that team that could make a difference as it is. But yeah, we'll.
Shrewsbury attacking early in this second period of extra time down the right-hand side. Bolton's overrun it. Mark Noble is back there to make the tackle for West Ham. Game of very few chances. 2 in that first period of extra time for West Ham. Both cleared off the line. Second half of the game, Joe Hart made a fabulous save in a one-on-one. West Ham coming forward through the middle here. Martinez up to the edge of the area. He'll shoot. That'll get blocked. And the ball won't even run out for a throw. So Shrewsbury will be able to keep this. And Matt Sadler has done very well. Their left-sided centre-back plays it to Rodman. Rodman's almost given that away. Obiang's trying to win it back. He is not able to do so. Rodman has it back for Shrewsbury. Brings it forward across the halfway line. Turns. Finds Louis Dodds, one of the substitutes in a lot of space, who's got support on his right-hand side from the right-back Bolton. Very close to substitutes in the cleaner, fresher kit, and also with the fresher legs, sort of making ground very quickly up the pitch. Carlton Morris centre forward, 1-2 with Rodman, trying to get past Rees-Berg, and I'm sure Matt Upson will nod and say good defending from Berg. They're just holding him off, so he couldn't get on the end of the 1-2. He just uses his body well, just gets that very gentle block in there, just to get in the way of the striker being able to follow up the 1-2. Joe Hart, West Ham's captain tonight, clears with his right foot down the middle of the pitch, and Ciala on his right foot volleys it away, only as far as Ogbonna. Ogbonna with his left foot chips it forward, headed away up to Carlton Morris. Shrewsbury's number 9, on loan from Norwich. Chests it down. Ball's now with Rodman. Another substitute has energy. He's overrun that, and he's run straight into Zabaleta, who makes the tackle. Gives it to Obiang. Obiang wide to Lanzini. Agogo dived in and missed the ball there, and Lanzini's able to bring it away, and he's running hard here down the inside right channel. Ben Godfrey, though, he has seemingly endless supplies of energy, gets in and makes the tackle.
Godfrey's been everywhere this evening. He's had an excellent game. He's sat in front of the back four. He's played with the ball. He's passed it well and got his body in, got into good areas when he's needed to be there. He's had an excellent performance.
Yeah, I was watching the match of the day highlights after the original time. I think Kevin Kilban picked him out as the first game. Turned 20 yesterday.
Exactly.
Obiang concedes a free kick here for a strong challenge on John Nolan midway inside the Shrewsbury half. So 2 minutes in to this second period of extra time. West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0. I mean, West Ham on a good run at the moment under David Moyes, and he's turning things around, Matt. And you know, if they get knocked out of the FA Cup, that'll be a setback, but it's not one of those where the manager's fearing for his job or anything like that. But just a little bit of a loss of momentum if they lose to Shrewsbury at home. Wouldn't you have thought in the FA Cup?
Absolutely, winning's a habit. You know, whether it's FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League, it's a habit and it's a mentality, and that's something that he'll be big on. He'll be wanting to instill. So winning is winning, and you want to keep winning. It's a rhythm, it's a mindset, and it's important matches like this, regardless of what they mean, that West Ham end up winning it.
Joe Hart with his right foot, good clearance actually onto the chest of Zabaleta. It looked like he was tugged to the floor by Rodman. He's not going to get the free kick. Shrewsbury in the blue and yellow, bringing it forward. Agogo inside his own half, floats a right-footed pass right across the halfway line. West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0 on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra. Chelsea Norwich on 5 Live tomorrow night in full. Wigan Bournemouth on Sports Extra. 2 more third-round replays, and Swansea host Wolves tomorrow night as well. Rodman gives it to Nolan. Mark Noble's in front of him. Beckles at walking pace now for Shrewsbury. Has it on the left-hand side. Dodds his layoff, not a good one. Lanzini has it for West Ham. Chips it into the middle of the pitch. Arnautovic acrobatically leaps, nods it back to Obiang. 3-on-3 for West Ham here. Martinez up to the edge of the area. Feeds Lanzini. Lanzini supporting his left-hand side. He just played it too far in front of Cullen. Cullen has to run across to his left and collect the ball. Back to Lanzini, edge of the area, onto the right foot, looking to just create the space to hit the shot. Rolls the pass to Zabaleta. Back to Noble. Noble pokes it wide to Zabaleta again. Cross comes in, headed away by Beckles. Didn't seem to want to take the shot there.
No, well, I think he wanted to manoeuvre it onto his right foot, but Agogo did brilliantly because he didn't buy the dummy. He tried to shift it as if he was going to feint onto his left Lanzini there, but wanted it on his right. When he came back on his right, Agogo hadn't bought the dummy, so he did really well just to hold him up.
10 minutes away from penalties in this FA Cup third-round replay. West Ham 0, Shrewsbury 0. Cut with his right foot. Sweeps the ball out to Zabaleta. Zabaleta lays it off to Mark Noble. Noble cuts infield. Gives it to Lanzini. Lanzini just helps it on to Obiang. Left-footed shot, dragged wide, not powerfully. Not a great strike.
Huddersfield game has given the board a false sense of security. They think they're good enough not to take people. Clearly not backing Moyes, sadly.
From that range.
Yeah, well, we know that about the board though. Just
like what we've just seen there. Was his wrong foot, actually, to be fair to him as well.
With all due respect, it has only been like 2 days since Huddersfield game, and the Carroll negotiations are still going on. So
it's not particularly high. No, that one at Wembley was.
I'm not defending the board at all.
Shrewsbury keeper Dean Henderson getting the boos here because the West Ham fans feel he's trying to run it down all the way to penalties. Leicester 2, Fleetwood 0. If you're catching up with this evening's results, Leicester away Peterborough in the 4th round of the Emirates FA Cup.
I know.
Cardiff 4-1 winners at Mansfield, so Cardiff will host Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Here's Arnautovic bringing the ball forward, gives it to Lanzini. Lanzini this time does shoot, blocked on the edge of the area, back to Lanzini. Godfrey with the challenge, almost knocked him off balance. Cullen lays it off here to Obiang. Lanzini again. Zabaleta's making a run to the far post, and Beckles sweeps the ball away from him. Zabaleta was homing in on that. It's gone behind for the West Ham corner.
Beckles picked up a good position there, very safe. He knew where Zabaleta was, knew exactly where he was, got his body in and just did the safety thing and just swept it out for a corner.
He's cramped.
Shrewsbury into the last 10 minutes of extra time. West Ham fans on their feet by the pitch here as Noble curls the corner into the penalty area, headed high in the air, drops down. Martinez has a swing, misses it almost completely, might get another chance here, hooks it over his head, back into the box. Oh, what a goal! What a fabulous goal from Shrewsbury! His first ever goal for West Ham, hit on the volley, flies into the roof, and may well put West Ham into the fourth round of the FA Cup. You feel for Shrewsbury there because you knew it was going to take something.
Never in doubt.
They just couldn't clear the corner, and what a moment for 20.
Oh my God, we make it so tough.
The Rockets makes it West Ham 1, Shrewsbury 0.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
First goal for West Ham. Brilliant. I mean, I don't know who it was that kept it alive. I think it might have been Martinez. The ball came out. He just hooked it back in really nicely. I'd say Burke was about 10 yards out, 8-10 yards out, but he strikes it fully on the half volley. I mean, the power he gets on it, hits the underside of the crossbar, goes down over the line and ricochets back up into the roof of the net. It was unstoppable from that range.
I'm sure, Matt, as a former player, you'll be able to tell me that is a moment you will always remember, your first ever senior goal. And particularly
another Mr. West Ham boy as well, isn't he?
You know, it's a game they're expected to win, but that was a bit special.
It's in the FA Cup as well. You know, for me, the FA Cup's so special, and it's a great time to score that goal. But also being at home, being this late on in extra time as well. You know, you can see on the look on his face how pleased he was, and rightly so.
Born in Newham, West Ham lad, growing up in a West Ham supporting family, playing for the club. 21 years old.
Scott C's just come on and said, always said the youth is good enough.
Puts West Ham 7 minutes.
We know what you said, mate. It's written there.
Place in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Shrewsbury with a wonderful chance in the second half to possibly win the game. Joe Hart made the save in the one-on-one. They have looked a little more tired late in the second half and in extra time. And of course had two cleared off the line, West Ham did in that first period of extra time. So still got to see the game out, and Shrewsbury might as well give it absolutely everything now, Matt.
Absolutely, and you feel a bit more relaxed about those penalties now.
The grid's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. But there's a grid that's been pre-prepared here in preparation in case there was a shootout.
Well, I know that I would never live it down with the initials ABB if I messed up an ABBA penalty shootout. So I'm very nervous about that. But
there's a weight been lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, well, at the moment, still 6 minutes to play. 5 live and 5 lives extra. With a cracking half volley, about 12, 13 yards out, just gave it everything right. I actually hit the bar, didn't it? Bounced down and then up.
It ricocheted, banged down. I think it crossed the line initially when it hit the floor. I think it had hit the ground over the line, but then it bounced straight up into the roof of the net just to confirm that it had gone over.
Actually, it's also more satisfying.
Yeah.
See the net.
When you see the net ripple, satisfying feeling, sure. Not that
well, I was just going to say, what was your first ever professional goal? Can you remember?
No.
Really?
I don't think I can remember my first professional goal, no.
Anyway, West Ham 1, Shrewsbury 0. 5 minutes away from the fourth round West Ham.
This is knackering for my wrist.
Tomorrow night, which will be in full-on 5 Live Sports Extra. And the winners of Wigan Bournemouth will be at home for the fourth round tie. Arnautovic trying to muscle his way in down by the byline here, trying to nick the ball off Matt Sadler. And has been penalised for the foul. I thought Sadler was having a word with Arnautovic. He wasn't there. He's actually just trying to get his goalkeeper to get on with things because Shrewsbury are running out of time. They've given it a right good go. This season, though, I think if you, certainly looking at a few messages on social media ahead of this game from the Shrewsbury fans, all about trying to get back up to the second tier of English football. This is second in League One at the moment. 3 points behind Wigan, 2 points ahead of Blackburn, 4 points ahead of Scunthorpe, trailing 1-0 to West Ham here in this third round replay. West Ham had the free kick. You'd have thought, Matt, as well, West Ham would have the nous here to slow this down and see it out, wouldn't you?
You would think so.
You would think so. But guys, we are West Ham United.
Take things and just calm and slow it down, win fouls, keep the ball when he needs to. But back to Shrewsbury, I have to say they've been excellent tonight. And no matter what the result is for them, this is only going to give them confidence to think they can come to a stadium like this against a Premier League team and give an account that they have done. You know, I can see why they're doing so well in League One, and hopefully they'll have a good, strong finish to the season.
Arnautovic gets the ball back to Josh Cullen. Cullen is tackled on the right-hand side by Bolton. Last touch came off Cullen. So Shrewsbury get a throw. 3.5 minutes they've got left to try and force a chance, something to try and get back into this game. 1 Shrewsbury 0. Tomorrow night on 5 Live, Chelsea Norwich. Full commentary on that third round replay with the winners of it at home to Newcastle. Beckles ball down the line. West Ham have won the throw on the right hand side. The ball just dribbles away over the artificial matting where the technical areas are out towards the tunnel. Shrewsbury urging West Ham now to get on with this. West Ham just trying to see it out as Zabaleta takes the throw down the line, then fires a pass into the feet of Martinez, who's made his first start for the first team tonight and played his part in creating that goal for Reece Burke. John Nolan for Shrewsbury in central midfield, holds off Obiang, plays it back to Nsiala, gives it to Ben Godfrey. Godfrey 10 yards inside his own half, floats one forward, it bounces and Morris chests it down. Carlton Morris back to the go-go for Shrewsbury. Here's Nolan. Nolan with the outside of his right boot finds Bolton on the right-hand side. That's intercepted by Obiang. Here's Arnautovic, gives it back to Obiang. Now Martinez. Obiang again in central midfield. Very coolly strides across the halfway line, plays it to Zabaleta. Zabaleta onto Lanzini. Obiang draws in 2 Shrewsbury players, and they're just toying with Shrewsbury a little bit now and keeping the ball.
It's interesting that Lanzini's been on the pitch the whole game. It just shows you that, you know, how badly West Ham have needed to win this match this evening. And big game coming up at the weekend, and he's had 120 minutes this evening.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bournemouth here at the weekend in the Premier League. Lanzini trying to thread one through. Now Arnautovic, the ball just hits his heels as he was trying to race through on goal. Shrewsbury clear into the last 2 minutes of extra time. West Ham leading 1-0. Noble floats his pass out to the left-hand side. Masuaku tries to beat his man on the outside. Nsiala stretches. The ball drops down in the Shrewsbury box. Cleared. Chested down by Cullen. Just outside the penalty area for West Ham. Continues his dribble. Right to the corner of the area. Plays it wide to Masuaku. Just holding onto the ball on that left-hand side. Plays it back to Noble. Noble across midfield to Obiang. Zabaleta's on the run in behind the Shrewsbury defence. Floated ball lands on his right foot. Back towards He might just do it by the byline. Oh, he's done well. Won the corner for West Ham.
Did very well. Won the corner. You can just imagine West Ham now just going to play this short, keep possession, just see the game, use that experience and just see the game. Yeah.
The moment Shrewsbury will look back on, Matt, in terms of having a chance to win this tie. Well, actually, the first game they could have won with a couple of chances, but it was the Stephen Payne one.
Yes, we are live. Yes, we are listening to the radio.
They had a chance of being out 1-0 win. All credit to Joe Hart for that. He did brilliantly in that situation.
Beckles stretches, can't beat Lanzini. He plays it in. Martinez, right footed shot, drags it across goal. Could have been a first goal for West Ham. On the spin, just hooks the shot wide and behind for the goal kick.
He'd be really disappointed with that, Tony. He had a heavy first touch with his left foot. He didn't quite cushion the ball into him. Lanzini did brilliant. He got to the byline, just cut it back to him.
To the final.
First touch with his left foot away from him. He was chasing it after that.
Closing seconds of the game then. It looks like Reece Burke's goal is going to be the winner for West Ham. Henderson clears it long for Shrewsbury. Ogbonna comes forward to win a header. Godfrey jumps and wins it for Shrewsbury. Cleared by Masuaku. 1 minute of added time for West Ham to try and see out here and make their way into the 4th round of the FA Cup. Silly foul from Bolton there. He comes through the back of Cullen. That kills another 20 seconds in the game. Should make the point about the Joe Hart save as well, Matt. The longer West Ham are in this competition, Joe Hart, thinking about England World Cup, the better, because he needs the games.
Absolutely, thinking of that, thinking about getting back in the West Ham team, which is, it's achievable this season. So he'll be looking to play as many times as he can.
Well, he's cleared the ball long with his right foot. Last touch came off a Shrewsbury player. Arnautovic is playing a 1-2 with the ball boy, just to kill a bit of time. But it's needed Arnautovic to come on in this game. It needed Mark Noble to come on, as Matt Upson was just saying. It needed Manuel Lanzini to play a full 120 minutes. West Ham have had to work very, very hard. Arnautovic is caught offside. And I think very soon we're going to hear that full-time whistle, and I'm sure those 3,000 Shrewsbury fans will heartily applaud the efforts of their team, because they have not, by any means, been embarrassed this evening. Dean Henderson clears with his right foot. The full-time whistle blows, and West Ham, after a really hard night's work against League One Shrewsbury, are through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. They will meet...
It can happen, Luke. It can happen.
That's yeah.
you welcome to Irons United's YouTube channel. You have joined us for the review. We've done a live extra time radio link up. Well, I don't even know what that was.
I couldn't have done that for 90 minutes, 120 minutes. So just yeah, it was that's typical West Ham, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just we didn't lose.
Do you know what? We're through to fourth round. We've got the winners of Bournemouth, Wigan tomorrow night, and we need to address the fact that, I mean, we've made hard work of it. We've gone in and played them for, I can't even do the calculations, 2.5 games. Like, it's just nuts when we didn't really need the fixtures. So
no.
Moyes and the players need to decide, do we want this competition or not? Because they just went and won this game, and we're playing another midweek game or weekend game. Sorry.
I can't understand why he brought on Arnautovic personally. Obviously, I can understand it now, but I think to myself, well, I know what Irvine was saying about going for the cup. I still can't see him really putting that much effort into winning the cup. But if you've just played, like the commentators just said, if you just played Lanzini for the full match, you brought Arnautovic on and Noble for a good amount of it. You don't just do that just to see it through, because you wouldn't be that much effort into it. Surely you would just go, okay, if we go out, we go out. You know, sit with the league, keep the players fresh. But obviously, there must be part of him that does want to go through, or just doesn't want to be humiliated by saying you got beat by Shrewsbury at home. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts really a little bit.
You made a valid point, though. Look, like you were talking there, and we were replying to the comments. I'm slightly worried. Well, I'm not worried. I'm annoyed at the fact that, potentially will be annoyed at the fact that people are going to start slagging off a lot of the youth players. Martinez can't score against League One outfit. Cullen can't perform against League One outfit. But for me, they have only had access to these 2 games, to be honest.
Sorry.
If you reference the Martinez situation, he definitely, blatantly, yeah, we never got to watch the game. We listened to the game, but we've got people inside the stadium, and they said they just didn't get the service at all. Again, no service whatsoever. So any striker in that position, and we know that through the whole season we've been playing, that no one's getting service, so they're not going to score the goals, you know.
I agree, but I mean, there is a point that's saying, well, look, you know, you need to take advantage of your opportunities. So I've been crying out for ages and ages and ages that I want youth to use as much as possible, especially in games that aren't as, say, important or whatever. Cullen's been given an opportunity tonight. Obviously, we weren't there, so we can't comment personally ourselves, but if they haven't really pulled up any trees, if they haven't particularly even done anything wrong either, it's not too bad. But it is a valid point. You know, if you can't do it against League One opposition, how are you expected to do it against Premier League opposition? I mean, I know there's first team players in there as well that haven't done it tonight either, but they've proved that they can do it when it's on the ball, and they're probably going through the motions themselves, really. It would be interesting to see if West Ham actually had to get out of second gear, because there is a cause for being 0-0 for so long and not attacking them very much and just trying to get the odd goal here and there. But if we were only one chance Shrewsbury had, one chance they had to score, one main chance. You didn't really hear about anything else, and Hart was tested a couple of times maybe. Apart from that, it's been a long old night for the fans. But
well, Stell's come back to us and he's saying that he definitely thinks Martinez deserves a second chance. He reckons he's done all right enough to be warranted another chance. And to be honest, I always think I don't think we can judge the youth players in these games personally. I really don't, because there's not enough. It's not enough game time, to be honest. It's not enough.
Etc. I think what was it? I think Matt Hudson said even in the first or second half at some point, he was saying that Byram has had a very good game tonight. But he got cramp. But he got cramp. But he's been out for so long that this is like his first game practically of the season. Basically, he's like he's had League Cup games and whatever.
But actually, this is the other thing, look, as well, and this is, I suppose, a big talking point, is Sam Byram's just come back from an injury. He played for the reserves last week, which we've got a vlog on our channel, and he was brought off as a sub, and he's played pretty much 85 minutes tonight. Is that bad man management when you've got a player that did have a bad injury and has been out for so long?
Well, I mean, it's the same case as someone like Antonio and whatever. I'm sure they're obviously looking at him and training every single day. But like I said before, I think especially the last couple of seasons, we have rushed players back because we've been so poor, and we just need either different options or we need to freshen things up.
Yeah.
you know, if it is players get cramp all the time. Don't you watch cup games a lot of the time, and players do go down with cramp in general in extra time or just before. If he's been brought off for Zabaleta, more or less, you know, as soon as he's gone down, they've organised a substitution. So hopefully that means that it's literally just a precaution and it just needs a bit of a rest. If it is bad management, it is bad management. But there's not much you can do about it, really, is there? I suppose.
No, it just frustrates me. It's just that, again, it's just one of those things. Like, we've got a player and we're potentially calling out for this Sam Barron. I mean, I don't mind Sam Barron. I quite like him.
No, I think he's a good player.
And I think we're definitely needing that kind of the legs and the guidance under Zabaleta. But I just worry the fact that he's just back from an injury, and most other teams wouldn't give their player probably 90 minutes in the first game back.
It is a worry that he has sort of like, he hasn't really put up any trees at West Ham since he's moved from Leeds, and he has sort of had these injuries here and there, and hasn't really been given a bridge load of games. And he isn't exactly young either. He's about 25, isn't he? Something like that. So he's not exactly young. He's middle 20s. So he's he possibly needs to start showing that he can take over from Zabaleta when the time is right, which he might have done tonight. So obviously, like I said before, we weren't there, didn't see him in person. So hopefully the reports we're getting back are true and they're all good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm happy. I am happy.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed it's taken extra time, but we're through to the next round of the FA Cup, and I want the FA Cup. I've said it from the start. Like, we need, in my lifetime, I want an FA Cup, and
yeah, same here.
I'll take that. I will take that this season. I'll take it right now. I'll take us going to Wigan, Bournemouth, whatever. Just put a performance out. West Ham. That's all we want. Just a performance. Like, it doesn't matter who plays. Just give everything. But it does worry me. It does worry me that it's 2 games. That Stanley read there was 200 minutes. Shrewsbury held West Ham for 200 minutes over the space of 2 weeks.
So when you say held, it kind of sounds like you're going, we just peppered their goal and they were just able to defend against us, but it hasn't been the case at all. It's literally just been that we haven't pushed them and they've just not had anything to defend either. I think, if I'm just going to quickly do this, I think I want to just give some positives, just to cheer some people up that are feeling pretty down.
Am I negative? Am I too negative?
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm thinking of the viewers' sake, because I know we've probably got hardly any comments in the chat that are very positive in a minute. But look, Martinez started tonight, which we've been crying out for forever, it seems like. We got a clean sheet. Joe Hart saved what he needed to save. Burke scored his first goal of West Ham as a defender as well, and what it sounds like is a bit of a worldie from him, to be fair.
Yeah, so we've on that, our guy, like I said, we've got a few guys at the game. They've replied to us by saying, quote unquote, what a bleeping volley from Burke, crossbar and in. So
yeah.
Stell's come back to us and said, because I think he's digging me out a little bit by saying Bonner.
Yeah, he is definitely.
Bonner, what a defender! Yet again, he's been in total control of the back three.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Know, you would hope so. Being the kind
of old timer, the experienced defender, then I would expect that. But my comment back to Stell was, but to be fair, at least he's starting to make up for how crap he has been in the past. But I'm going to hold my hand up. Fair play, Bonner. But then he is playing against the League One outfit, so I fully expect him to be on top form.
Yeah, I'm unlucky Shrewsbury, because it sounded like they gave us the game. If any Shrewsbury fans watching as well, it was it sounded like it was quite a good game actually. To be proposed, not like entertaining in any shape or form at all, but it sounded like it was a good competitive game for both teams. We didn't get any injuries. That was the one thing I was worried about. Because I've but I think that's crap. I think I'm going to play that as precautionary. But when you heard that at Huddersfield game that Lanzini wasn't 100% fit, played as well as he did, and then plays on Tuesday night as well, full 120 minutes, and doesn't seem to have got any injuries at all, then that's always a positive to come out of it. But really,
here's a kind of random subject, I suppose, but it's relative and it's related. It's the whole kind of television side of it. Like, it depends on what we can talk about in terms of, if you're that person that streams illegally, then that's very naughty.
But love that.
But do you know what? It's the FA Cup, It doesn't matter if it's a replay. It doesn't matter. Like, for me, it needs to be on. It just needs to be on TV for everyone to see. Yes, I understand people are going to travel to the game. It doesn't matter if the game's on the TV. People are still going to travel to the game. But that game, the game tonight, and all other games that you can't watch, needs to be on the TV. It needs to be, in my opinion, because that's how you're going to generate the love again for the FA Cup.
But how do you mean, like, exactly? Because Leicester were on tonight, weren't they?
Leicester were on tonight, and that was it. Like, you couldn't find West Ham between normal TV and then.
Oh, you're digging deep into the old commercial arguments here, because this is like you had. I looked on BT today, and I think they had the French games on Marseille, and they had the Monaco game on as well.
I don't even want it on BT or Sky Sports, but do you know what? If it was on that, it's better than nothing. The point is, we can't watch an FA Cup game, and they always say that the FA Cup game is that they're going to keep it to its roots. They're going to try and regenerate the love the fans had for the FA Cup, blah 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 blah. But you can't pick up a game. You can't watch the game at all. You can't. BBC don't have it. ITV don't have it. We're going to have to wait for the highlights. And I understand there's TV rights when it comes to the Premier League, but we're talking about the FA Cup here. They'll look, and I just think, what a way to kind of, like, kids at home on a Tuesday night. It's cold outside, and people maybe aren't going to go to the game. What a good chance to watch your club playing the FA Cup.
Yeah,
it frustrates me. It's the fact we've got to listen. Do you know what? Don't mind the radio, but we have TV. We're in the modern world, and for me, I think they need to address that. The BBC or ITV or some television channel company needs to address the fact that every single FA Cup game, whether it be a replay, and do you know what? Maybe they need to look at the early rounds and put their early rounds on as well. Because do you know what? Would you watch a first round game between lower league teams if it was live on BBC? Possible.
Yeah, probably. I know where you're coming from, but I don't personally have that kind of argument. I think that, if I'm honest, Dan, we should have finished it off in the first round anyway. Yeah, in the first leg, we shouldn't have brought it to a replay. Yeah. If we're that good, we should have won away from home and not even had this tonight. That's kind of our punishment if you look at where I'm coming from, really. But I understand your sentiment and where you're coming from. I just think that's the way it is, mate. I think it's the way that
I think I'm referencing not even just West Ham, mate. I think I'm referencing every single club.
Yeah, I know you
and
are.
Every single fan. I mean, you look on social media tonight, and it's probably not just West Ham fans, but you people were just frustrated. We can't even watch the game, and you're thinking to yourself, within reason, you can kind of accept the Premier League, but it's the FA Cup. I mean, people are coming in here in the chat saying, for me, nothing beats the Cup, though. I was born in May, so always a special competition. But yeah, it is a special competition, and hopefully clubs are starting to take it serious again. It just frustrates me. It's the fact it's Tuesday night, and we couldn't watch the game.
Fair enough.
Just really annoying.
It was strange that there was like absolutely no streams at all, though. I know, and I was not saying that should be there because of what you said earlier. But yes, it's very true. Yes, I'm going to stop there. I won't go any further. But it was at home London Stadium, so sorry.
Revelator John, with our squad, with this replay going into extra time and using its team players, it will have a knock-on effect for Saturday. I predict this is going to be a tough game for us. Revelator John, if you watched our review from the Huddersfield game, I'm pretty adamant I said in that review, I worry about the cup competitions because it seems to knock our momentum. We go into a cup competition off a good win or a good result. We go into the cup competition and something just goes wrong. And then the game after, we don't perform that well. And it slightly worries me now that we're going into this Bournemouth game, and I don't want to predict whatever, but the momentum has been absolutely knocked out of West Ham. We've only just beaten Shrewsbury Town of League One with a mixed side. 5 or 6 of those players are going to be playing on Saturday.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I agree. I do, because I've been thinking all night, actually. I mean, mentality-wise, they're going to think, fucking hell, I've only just beaten Shrewsbury. But at the end of the day, and this is kind of what they always say about winning teams, right? Winning teams don't always win pretty. They don't always win entertainmentally. They literally just get over the hill. So they'll be looking at that. Burke will be absolutely buzzing. I don't care what anyone says. Burke will be buzzing to get his first goal, winning goal, as late as it was. And we look at that going, as poor as they were, or as, let's say, not as clinical as they were against the League One team at home, they still won. Yeah. We still got a clean sheet, and we're still through. And apart from one little scare with a one-on-one with Joe Hart, Shrewsbury never really worried us as far as we know, because I can't really can't really say too much because he weren't there. But I'm saying, I think that is the way I'm going to look at it. The way if I'm positive about it, that's the way I'm going to look at it. That we'll go, well, we might have been shit, but we still won. Be on Bournemouth, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
probably I'm probably in the minority with that opinion. But I think that hopefully that's the way they think and not shit. We just kind of half bottled it against Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
And if I just got to start feeling that, and out of it, just walked into that dressing room going, "Oh, you fucking needed me, didn't you guys?" You know? Yeah.
Do you know what?
You
he's starting to come across like he's. But do you know what? He's got such potential to be a. What do you call him? A cult hero.
Yeah, Maverick. Bit of a He's hopefully he does stay ground. Doesn't get big headed, but you can never really tell.
To be honest, I don't know. I think that maybe suits him. I think he is. I think he plays better when he is big headed, because when he's not big headed and he's a bit shyer, he's just lackadaisical and whatever. But we definitely relying a lot on him and Lanzini. The fact that and even Noble.
Yeah, that's been a shock for me. The way he's stepped up, but he really hasn't. Fair play to him. The funny thing was, I think Upson or a commentator did make a comment about when Anatovic come on, that they said immediately that you could tell the Lanzini and Anatovic link up is just growing. It's just growing in maturity.
Lanzini's looking up and going, there's a guy who can play football, who's got some skill, who's got something about him.
It looks like it's kind of like Lanzini's got the Payet partnership with Anatovic back. Yeah. So we've had that year or that 6 months where Lanzini didn't have that, with Payet obviously not turning up in the first half of the last season and obviously leaving. And this season, over the last 5 or 6 games, there's been a link-up play. So, it's looking rosy.
It's definitely an interesting one, but I mean, listen, guys, we thought we'd try something new tonight. We thought we'd give you a little bit of live commentary from the radio, albeit.
It was desperate. It was desperate times, because we did think well, we can't really do anything much, and it was.
Unfortunately, we couldn't go to the game, but it's just part and parcel.
For anyone that did watch the game, for anyone that did stay to the end, well done. Thank you for staying and showing the team support, because that can't have been an easy watch, taking it when reports we've heard and everything. So, well done for staying, and luckily you got a reward of somewhat of sorts.
Well, we have got Bournemouth at the weekend. Revelator John's come back on, and he's just reminded us the fact that they came off a great win against Arsenal, so we can't take them lightly. They've got a game tomorrow, so if they get a decent result tomorrow, it could be really tight again.
That's the thing.
The game could be full of goals.
The only thing that I think when I look at Bournemouth is that where they are, I'm thinking to myself, if you've just lost to Arsenal and you've lost at points, you're going to be even more desperate to get a point, get the point to get sussed. But now they've got that win, it's slightly not kind of goes, we can relax now because we've got some leeway, because we had got the 3 points we didn't think we'd maybe get against Arsenal. They're probably less desperate for them. That's the only thing I'm pinching at, if you know what I mean. It's not a great thing to try and hold on to.
Here's a couple of positives before we go. We've won 1-0. We're through to the 4th round. We've played 5 or 6 youth players. That's their second game in, albeit 2 weeks, with some of the first team players. All that's going to do, they haven't lost. They haven't filled us with a crazy amount of joy. But all that's going to do is provide confidence. So you're going to get players playing alongside Lanzini, understanding Arnautovic, understanding Obiang, understanding Bona, etc. All that can do is play wonders. They're in and around the squad. It's what we've been crying out for a long time, is these players to be in and around the squad.
Yeah.
Left, right, and centre. So surely there is the integration. Maybe it's given Moyes a really good understanding of players' ability. I think there was a lot of social media presence there talking tonight about Reece Oxford looked a little bit unfit. But to be fair, he did get a knock and injury, and he has been out for a few weeks, and he's kind of come back. He's just back into the Premier League. We need to give him a little bit more time before we make a judgment on him.
Yeah, it's good to see that.
It's positives, mate. It is positives.
Yeah, there are there. It was. I think that it's I think we all got maybe teased a little bit when Moyes first turned up and decided to chuck the youth players in with the first team. And then after that first week, it seemed to die down. They didn't really get that same integration. So, like you say, it is good to get them in with the first team. Give them a game. And in a game, the good thing about it is as well, is that for the youth players, it shows that it's not easy. You can't just walk into this team against League One opposition and win 3-0 and start relaxing and thinking, oh, okay, this is easy now, because they're going to think to themselves, well, okay, this is at some sort of standard, at some sort of level. They go, struggle to win this one. So how's the fucking Premier League going to be? So it's a wake up call for them in a little way.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose. I think we're probably trying to drag this out, but before we go,
yeah, we are.
Before we go, just quickly, there's been a little bit more of updates today regarding Andy Carroll. It looks like potentially that they have made a move. So it says here, according to Sky sources, West Ham are willing to listen to offers of £20 million for Andy Carroll. This is 17 minutes ago, updated 17 minutes ago. He's attracted the interest of Chelsea, so it understands Chelsea have already contacted West Ham about signing Carroll on a permanent deal in the current window.
Yeah.
For me, I think we've discussed it. It says apparently Sevilla are believed to be confident that the club will sign the Belgium this month, the Batshuayi. So I don't know if he's potentially out of the.
Where has that come from?
Yeah.
Where has Sevilla come from?
But I tell you what, mate, like you're talking about a well-renowned striker that's not been playing left, right, and centre, but when he does play, he scores goals, and he's playing in this amazing Belgian team. So any team kicking around is going to look at a player like that and think, well, I'll take him, whether it be a loan or a permanent deal. I see the Carroll one. Do you know, I was listening to TalkSport today. I was listening to Alan Brazil and Joey Barton, and they just they couldn't understand. They couldn't understand the Carroll deal, and I was desperate to phone up my friends again, as I always do, and have a chat with them and just tell them, like, I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah, but I after a while, when you piece together why they would do it, it starts to become more clear and more understandable, more feasible. But even I'm still shocked that Chelsea won him. And I'm not talking about him as a player. I'm talking about his injury record.
Yeah.
When do you know that a top six, I'm going to say sort of six now, because it's sort of getting larger than just top four, a top six club looking at a player that has a major history of injuries, and although he is effective for us when he's on top form, his goal ratio isn't great. And I know I'm an Andy Carroll fan, so I'm not going to go back on that. I'm not going to start slagging him off now, because I really do think he's good. But for us, he's good. Not only, I know I'm being a bit, hypocritical, or whatever you want to call it, but he's good for us. How good is he going to be how effective and reliable is he going to be for a team that are not only chasing top four, but maybe next year when Man City haven't completely bulldozed it, wanting to win the league? Which would be interesting. It'd be interesting because it'll be Chelsea's problem then. Yeah, but it does.
If you're Chelsea, you've got money. If you've got money and you've got room in your squad, do you want an Andy Carroll in your squad? If you're any team in that league and you've got a fit Andy Carroll and you're going to play him for the last 15 minutes most of your games, or if and when you need him, would you sign an Andy Carroll? And I honestly think you put that to most managers in that league. Not based upon playing him 90 minutes week in, week out. But would you have him as a backup striker, playing behind Morata, and if Batshuayi stays, Batshuayi, and then having Carroll when Chelsea play the style of football they play? Absolutely makes loads of sense to me. It does. I get your point though about it's Andy Carroll. He's injury prone, blah 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 blah. But do you know what? It's typical West Ham's luck. He is. I don't think.
Sorry. I forget. I don't think they would be going for him if Morata was still in form, because he's been shocking recently for Chelsea.
But they wanted Dan made
Lorente,
They obviously fancy that type of player. Again, you can't. Chelsea have proven the fact that they can't just rely on one striker. No team can rely on one striker. You need more than that. I get it. I really get it. You're talking about a player who's got Premier League experience, albeit he gets injured a lot, but 10-15 minutes. 10-15 minutes at the end of every game. Like what a career! What a great opportunity for Andy Carroll.
Oh yeah,
win some trophies, and
no doubt.
It's a no-brainer for us because we can't do what Chelsea can do with Andy Carroll because we can't afford to do that because we don't have the player, the depth in the squad. So it's the same. It's typical West Ham. We have players like Chicharito, and we can't do with him, which was what we want to do. But he will go to other teams, and they'll play to his advantage and his strength. And it's going to be the exact same with Andy Carroll.
I think what gets most fans, including myself, is that I spoke to quite a few West Ham fans when the link came up with China in the summer. That the Chinese club wanted Andy Carroll and willing to pay about 20-30 million for him. And even then, it was unbelievable. It was like a spitted tea at the time because it was just a joke. Thinking 20 million for him, like, yeah, take it now. And you're sort of halfway through the season. Carroll hasn't really pulled up any major trees apart from the game against West Brom. And you're thinking a team like Chelsea, who you would think would be pretty savvy in the transfer market, are bidding £20 million for a player that, at the time, when we paid 19 million for him, back when he bought him off Liverpool, people were calling us stupid because of his injury record and the fact he hadn't done anything at Liverpool. So I think that's what gobsmacked me, is the fact they're not offering lowball money and just trying to test the water. They're just going, here you are, 20 million, 30 million. Because that's it hasn't changed. It's been reported today. It hasn't changed. It got lower at all. It's been 20 million.
Here's a valid point as to why potentially Chelsea would take him as well. Andy Carroll has probably contributed 8, 9, 10 goals for West Ham. Am I right in saying that?
More or less, probably, yeah.
Season, averaging about 12, 13, 14, 15 games, whether or not they're sub. I don't know, it depends, like, collectively, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Those goals at that level with Chelsea are potentially the difference between them winning the league. Yeah. In much the same way, probably for a relegation team, that those 10 goals make a difference. So you're right, yeah, no, it's not. And you put Chelsea in the Champions League, and you put Andy Carroll on top of some of those foreign defenders. They will not know how to handle him. You
really are selling him to Chelsea. There is, I know. It's just funny. Any Chelsea fans watching, just listen to Ant for go over this again, because he's just sold you Chelsea, because you're selling it to me, because I thought about it, and the points you're making are completely valid. It's just one of them things you just, at the time, you just think mad transfer link, and then now you're thinking, well, actually, fucking hell, yes, it does seem to make sense, and the money's, yeah, we'll take it.
Take the money for Andy Carroll. We've got to take the money for Andy Carroll. We've got to take the money for Diafra Sacco. Start again, and we need to do something with our midfield. That for me is the key now. That's there's no point in going and signing all these strikers that we want to sign if we're not going to give them service. So we need to create that missing link that we've not had. We need to bring in the Ayo Berkovic's. We need to bring in the Yossi Benayoun's of the world, and the connectors of that kind of style player. And you know what? I'll get slagged for it, but I would absolutely 100% take Daniel Sturridge. Yeah, he's injury prone, but I'll take him on loan. I'll take him on loan to the end of the season.
I don't know. I'm not disagreeing. A loan deal, maybe something along, like, it wouldn't happen because players, I don't think, would even think about taking that nowadays. But a pay-as-you-play kind of deal would be absolutely ideal. Well, that won't happen because that's just not the way modern footballers work now. They want to pay regardless.
Sturridge has made a valid comment, as all players are going to do. They've got 15 days to make a decision on what they're going to do with their career, and they've got a World Cup coming up. And for a lot of these players we're linked with, or players that are kicking about, it's the last chance to prove a point. So if you're not playing for your club, you're going to be willing to either make a move or a drop, whether it be a full-time permanent move or a loan move. And yeah, okay, he's injury prone, but he's definitely someone that if we could use a Sturridge to our advantage, well, he's not playing at Liverpool, a bit like what Chelsea could do with a Carroll, it could work in our favour, and that's where I'm
at. Do you know, I agree with that, but the funny thing, England team is funny. The England team is a really weird one because for many years now, I've under Capello, under Hodgson, we've taken players to the World Cup and to the Euros who simply don't deserve it, who haven't even pulled up any trees for their clubs, and they've got in. For example, Jack Wilshere at the last Euros, hardly played for Arsenal at all, and got in there. And people's argument was saying, oh, but he's still better than the players that have played the full season for their clubs, the other English players who are not injury prone. I get that if you're going to scrape the barrel for excuses to get players in. But I think Sturridge goes regardless, personally. I can see that happening. I don't see Vardy going, but I see Sturridge going, and there's no real reason to take Sturridge unless you're looking at we need options for, he's done it. He scored a few goals. He scored a goal at the last Euros and whatever. So maybe it would work. If it does work and he comes scores goals, I'll be ends up brilliant. Again, you sold him to me in a way. You keep saying you have to go. You have to be a negotiator, mate. You've got to be a negotiator because you are selling me these players. You're selling me these deals.
Del boy, mate. Del boy.
Yeah.
Right, listen, it's getting late. We've not really been too strenuous on ourselves for doing this. We were listening to the game anyway, so we thought we'd come on and, like I said, and give you some live feedback. We've got Bournemouth at the weekend. They play tomorrow night against Wigan. Winner of that, West Ham take on. We go away again in the 4th round. But at least we're through. I'm happy. The dream lives on. 1980, the dream lives on. We'll be back probably tomorrow night with our preview. You might be getting fed up with mine and Luke's faces, but
I do apologise. Yeah,
we're gonna publicly shout out Dan. We're gonna publicly shout out Jack. We're gonna shout out Luke. We're gonna shout out Matt. We're gonna shout out Richard, and the rest of the guys in the group to get involved in our stuff. So.
But you don't need them. You only need us two because we're the main guys at the minute. We know what we're talking about, Yeah. So.
Any questions? Get involved. Subscribe to the channel. Last but not least, and I'll announce it again tomorrow. Thanks to our partners at Umbro, we have been given 2 tickets to give away to the West Ham Southampton game. Yeah, okay, if you're a season ticket, you won't need them, but you never know. You might want to give some family or friends some games. So yeah, we've got some tickets to give away, so we'll be announcing a competition coming up soon, so make sure you subscribe to our channel and you'll see what we're doing. 31st of March I think the game is, so keep an eye on it. I keep looking out the window because I'm up in Scotland and it's absolutely coming down with snow. It's been doing it all day. So anyway, I'm Anton.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, for that disastrous game apparently. But come on, you Irons. Well done.
Come on, you Irons.